Apparently, that double click thing I was talking about, it happened just now. So they could have heard y'all if you said something, but they didn't hear me. And I was like, hey, guys, blah. But Shade Seeker, hello, hello. Almost a
Hello.
whole, your tweet, almost a whole, I mean, technically, we were live. We're still at the, stream starting soon screen. We were technically live. But hello, everybody. How are y'all doing today? Welcome to the next episode of the Made in Dreams podcast. I am your host, Mighty Vicious. I am here with my hetero life mate, Jamie James, and Mr. Casey Jones.
The
Hello.
legend himself.
Indeed,
Hi, how are
the
you?
legend himself. So, I guess to get started, we'll go ahead and throw that spotlight on you and let you talk about the origin of dreams, where you came from, and everything you want to talk about, guy. Go.
Well, I didn't come from Little Big Planet. I know a lot of people were very familiar with Little Big Planet and Meet a Molecule, but for me, I remember seeing that first E3 demo, just that video of Dreams, and I had, of course, been familiar with Little Big Planet, but I wasn't really that much of a, it's kind of a side-scrolling kind of guy. So I was like, eh. But then they're just like, no, you can do anything you want. So I was pretty interested, forgot about it, and then the beta happened, and too late for me, I couldn't get in. And then I just absorbed all the videos coming out that Media Molecule put out, and then eventually in the beta, and it just rose in my mind of to the fever pitch of just I have to have this right now. Just wrote down all these ideas I had, and then got into early access, and everything just took off from there. Uh, yeah, my background isn't there's nothing to do with games or even like programming. Uh, I did go to school for graphic design, so I always thought kind of I had an eye for, and I'm a lifelong game player, so I felt like maybe I can make a game. And not to sound like a salesperson, but Dreams makes it that easy. If you have a PlayStation 4 and a copy of Dreams, you're good to go, as proven by me. I mean, I also didn't have a fan base when I started, just from scratch, everything from scratch. I was able to make all these games and have, at the moment, 8,306 followers on Dreams. So I'll take it. I don't mind.
Not bad. Not bad.
I love it's. I love to joke about it, like because it's as confusing to me as it is to anybody probably, just going from zero to in the top 10 of all, top 10 of the most followed people in Dreams.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
going
know.
crazy.
I don't know. So the only way for me to kind of put it into perspective is to joke about it and just be like, yeah, that's right, I'm the best. But inside, I'm just like, I don't, I don't understand. I don't get it. So
So, like, in your video on YouTube, you talked about what dreams meant to you, which is kind of like what you started with. So we'll
mhm.
start there with the origin story. Like, you talked about the type of person you are in real life and the persona that you've adopted for this game. What was the transition like, and what caused you to do it?
I don't know. I think it was just maybe it was always there, and I just needed Dreams to bring it out. I never really had an outlet. Like, I didn't make videos on YouTube. Maybe if I had started that, it would have come out there. Or if I had gone to, maybe if I did start Little Big Planet, it would have happened there. But it might just be as simple as Dreams allowing you to record your own voice. And I never really wanted to hear my own voice, but I just thought, yeah, why not? And eventually, just I don't know. It kind of snowballed from there. I think it also helped that I didn't have, I was talking to strangers, complete strangers at that time, and I just felt like it was maybe a little easier to have just this introduction for me, and to make it whatever I wanted,
Hmm.
and to then just go, well, why don't I just make myself, very egotistical and larger than life in the game, and I don't know.
I mean,
Um,
does
I, I
does go ahead.
so I find that quite interesting because I have watched your video of What Dreams to Me on YouTube, and you mentioned that you're very much an introverted person. So the fact that you've gone completely opposite with sort of this persona that you've created online, is that sort of you testing out this different side of you on a platform where it's for you, for instance, it's more socially acceptable?
Yeah, I,
That was exactly my next question. Yeah.
if you want to
What?
ask it,
Oh,
yeah, you
I
can.
will. So, does it help having a disconnect or barrier between you and the work you do on Dreams? Ah, yeah.
I, uh, yeah, I think it does, um, because I'm able to present myself however I want to a whole bunch of new people, and of course, it might help that I'm not on video in Dreams. I can make a character and then basically, literally puppet. They call it a puppet. I choose a blank puppet as my in-game avatar, and it's kind of the same thing. I'm hiding behind a wall with the puppet, and I feel safer, so I can then maybe go a little wild in the game, and don't have to feel embarrassment like if someone was looking at me. I
Mm.
don't know. It's just there's just that feel of it in the game.
And since you've sort of gained this popularity on the platform and you have this ego now and this persona that you portray, do you find that it's sort of sidewinded into your real life and that you feel more confident in yourself? And has it changed you physically outside of dreams?
I'm sure it must have. For one thing, I did start streaming earlier this year, and I probably never would have done that without dreams, especially not with the camera on me
Mm,
and all that stuff. So I I think it definitely has. It has been kind of a long process since. I've been playing Dreams since I first got early access, middle of March 2019. So it's been a year and a half. So, and
mm,
it's just kind of a slow build up. So I'm sure it has. But then, 6 months ago, haven't really interacted with that many people. Uh, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it changes. But I think I feel more confident in
So,
real life.
so it was like a natural reaction to the freedom, like GTA Mayhem. Like, it's like you have the ability, like in GTA, to just run ransack in society. And for you, it was just like, well, now I get to put forward this me that is kind of shield.
Mhm.
Well, that it like a shield from maybe some of the things you feel in real life.
Yeah, there's like it's kind of fun. Like if I were to go walking down the street, I have the knowledge of, well, it's fans. Like I have fans. That's a new thing,
Yeah.
and
mm,
these that helps me just knowing, just when I'm not streaming or when I'm not making a game, in my mind I have fans, and a lot of people are probably in the chat right now. I'm not looking, but you know there's probably a lot of people who that are just walking around my normal everyday life is just like, oh yeah, that was fun to talk with that person about this. And so yeah, having that just in my mind of, I have a lot of fans, and I also am a lot of big fan of a lot of dreamers out there too who are my fans, that I'm just like, oh my gosh, you create some amazing stuff. You also like me? What? So I think it helps. The game helps me in my real life a lot.
mm.
What was the question? I forgot.
I'm trying to not take over the beginning like I did last time, where I just kept asking questions. So, Jimmy, if you have
Uh,
more to get to.
yeah, I mean, the the series that you've created with Opposite Day, with this whole Persona thing, was Opposite Day created around the Persona, or did the Persona come out of Opposite Day? Like, what came first?
Well, as you know, so as a lot of you know, the first Opposite Day game was literally walking through a maze where
Mm,
if the arrow says left, you have to go right. Simple as that. And then people would say, "Hey, you should make a sequel." And I just thought that doesn't make any sense. It's just the same thing, maybe with a different
mm,
environment. And so I had one of the first ideas I wanted to do for before James came out. I was just writing a whole bunch of ideas. It was Desert Bus. If you're familiar with Desert Bus, it's the Penn and Teller kind of a joke game where you
yeah.
drive, I think, from somewhere in Arizona to Las Vegas or something. It's an 8-hour real time bus ride. You have to constantly steer the bus so you don't crash. If you crash, you get towed in real time. And if you make it all the way to the end, you get 1 point and you have to take the return trip. And I was thinking of doing something like that, set in just, the pun, dessert bus in kind of a Willy Wonka candy factory land.
Hmm.
But, you're driving really slow. There's nothing to do. But then you have an option to get out. And maybe there's a person over there that you can talk to. Maybe they say, "Hey, if you hit this button, you can go faster." And it's just kind of like, I kind of, dreams explain to me that you can go any direction you want. So with Opposite Day 2, I had the idea of like, well, what if I come into the game and interact with the player? Because with dreams, there is that big connection from the
Mm,
creator to the player,
absolutely. Yeah.
and I wanted to exploit that for fun and be like, well, what if I trap the player into an unwinnable game? And it's going to sound crazy to a lot of people, but I people say, oh, like it's very similar to Stanley Parable. I'd never played that, still haven't. Um,
Yeah, I definitely
but
got Stanley Parable vibes from Opposite Day too.
someday I will play it. But like
It
minds,
will shock you that the similarities in the sort of the style and the undertone of the game. It's crazy that you've never played that, and you have the
I
same
know
sort of vision
I was
as what that game's gone for.
I was aware of it, but just I don't know. I don't know.
So here's a random question, and
I'll give a random
yeah,
answer.
okay, good, good. Do you like RoboCop?
I like the movie just fine. Yeah. Later on, I learned about the structure of it, how it's almost a mirrored movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in the except for one cut scene where it would have been exactly mirrored, going from the middle out. I like the movie. Yes.
Okay, because one of the things, and everybody knows I'm all about movies, but like one of the things I've realized, like playing your games, is I felt like you had a really big grasp on just satire, and that was kind of like your main creative like baseline. And so, yeah, like I just wanted to know,
Mhm.
like, do you have comedians or other mediums like that you pull from that inspire you in your tone of creation?
Yeah. Number one is Monty Python. Um, I got the big box set of the TV show when I was in high school and Holy Grail, and that would have to be the biggest influence. Just look at the Holy Grail, where they play the credits. They have someone, the person who's making the credits adds their own little dialogue underneath the credits, the introductory credits,
Mm-hmm.
and they hijack it, and then they get fired and new credits happen. This is all before the movie starts, and I just keep thinking, like, imagine being in the theater. Well, first of all, they play a totally different movie for a few minutes, then they do the credits, the fake credits. And I mean, it blew me away when I watched it on DVD for the first time. But just thinking about like being in the audience, just being like, I don't understand what is happening, what is going on. And there's that is a huge influence to me. But also just kind of like what I said about the interaction between the creator and the player. Um, I just want to basically what I want to do with dreams is just try every idea out because you can. It's so easy to just make anything. Like eventually with dreams, there should be, tons of new genres and all that. But the idea, just any ideas you want to do should just be in dreams. Like everyone should try everything. So I was just trying all that. I hope that answered the question. Hmm. Hmm. No, it really started like it started out
Okay, hold
as
on one second. Hold on one second. I just realized that something went horribly
Oh,
wrong.
oh
So
no.
I'm going to ask that again. So basically, what I was telling him is that I really liked his short film, Just a Cup of Coffee, Thanks. And the atmosphere I really liked, and it reminded me of basically the new genre of film that's come up in the last couple years, which is like the slice of life films. And I was wondering if that was his intention to turn like a familiar, mundane moment into a work of art, like a still life, or was it just something that just came out of him as a creation?
it started as I don't really remember. It's been a while now, maybe like a year, maybe not quite. But I I was kind of I wanted to make fun of like a young kid just staring at his phone while life is happening behind. And then I found this piece of music that just was really calm, and I made it I think snow outside, and it just felt warm. And I remember seeing a video about like game design where the game will tell you what it wants,
Hmm.
meaning like kind of like it wants you to go in a certain direction. Like here's where the fun is. And this isn't, it's just a short film,
Mm-hmm.
but and it was like this isn't right when I was making it, and then I was just like, you know what? It's just gonna be simple music. The camera maybe just pans around this character, and I was using a pre-made character who had just this kind of little bit of a smile. It was a young person with just this smile, and I was like, I don't want to be cynical or anything. It's like this this character just wants to be alone at this booth in this coffee shop, just looking at his phone. And I thought, you know what, that's fine. I don't want to overdo it. I don't need to have any dialogue or anything. It just kind of made itself. It told me what it wanted to be. It wanted to just be that short little scene, just someone looking at their phone in the coffee shop. Simple as that. I don't know if maybe it was influenced by some movies, um, but yeah, I think it was just simple as that. Just short and
Cool.
sweet. Just make it. That's again dreams. Like it can be whatever you want. You can be just a still picture that you paint, or it can be an epic, huge game, or 30 seconds of little scene, just quiet little moment with someone on in their phone.
Well,
Yeah.
I like your approach to I guess the way you make your creations, your dreams, because for like I'm super picky about every single little thing, and so it's like, I don't know, I've just always had this thing where it's like you only get one chance, like one chance to really pull someone in and mix story. And I'm not saying you don't do that, because you definitely do. That's why you have fans. But it's like, I would say sometimes I feel like I'm handcuffed, and by the fact that I like my scale and scope is so big. Well, I'm like, trying to learn to drop that back and just put it out, just put the idea out. And so yeah, it's awesome to see a dreamer like you that is able to just do that and get everything you want to get across in it.
One thing that has helped is Dreams Have Meanings, who's on Twitch now, has these 30-minute challenges on Sundays where you get 2 words, 30 minutes, go. That really has helped. I think it can help anybody. I don't care if you just picked up the game that day. You only have 30 minutes. You have to do this. When it's done, we all look at them. Having that time crunch and just, you have to be as efficient as you can to get your creation across, and then it's done. Um, I can be a little too eager to put something out because I feel like it's done, but you can always come back and edit it. But I do understand like wanting to make it perfect right out of the gate. Um,
Mm.
Sometimes you have to like throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
Where you just have to, at a certain point, put your game or scene or sculpture out. And if people like it, they like it, and if they don't, they don't. But there has to kind of be those early games, or scenes or arts or whatever. I've had plenty of things that I put out that I was just like, oh no, should I? I don't know, but I think it can help. Uh, but it's everyone has their own kind of thing. I know there's a lot of people who are still working on their first game, and it's been a year and a half or a little longer if they were in beta, and just polishing it up so nice. Or you can just rub up, churn out stuff, and both of those are acceptable within Dreams.
First of all, I love that little slip just a moment ago. You could just put one out. But it happens. It happens. So, yeah, and I feel like that's what I need to get to, because like I need to just go ahead and just put more stuff out and, just do enough to get across what the base is, and then you can always go back and improve it. Like if it really means that much to you. And so yeah, it's
It
awesome.
also, it also helps that because there's a lot of streamers out there streaming Dreams. Media Molecule themselves do as well. When when you get your creation in front of a lot of new eyes, and you can then be a part of that, like you're hearing them talk about your creation instead of just leaving a comment, seeing it kind of live happen can really help. To anybody watching, I will say, don't just say, hey, play my game to a streamer. Maybe be a little nice, hang out, and then say, oh, I have something, could you please check it out? But most streamers will say, yeah, sure, well, I'll check it out. And sometimes if you're getting, if you're getting some harsh criticism, that can really help you out to improve. But sometimes just I had a game where I was watching someone play and they just kept mashing jump, and eventually they kind of broke a sequence, and I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea, because I don't play that way. And
Yeah.
then seeing somebody else play it a different way can really open your eyes, and that's the benefit of Twitch, and I guess YouTube as well. Anyone streaming Dreams, potentially, if you're nice and ask, hey, can you play my game, you can get that live feedback that really is pretty unique for Dreams.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, because this community is so open, and I find the Dreams community, in the sense of a game development sort of community that it is so different and so unique against conventional engines.
Mhm.
There is a real love and passion within this community. Everyone that, at least that I've spoken to, is extremely nice. There's no negativity. Everyone's open to helping everybody else out. You know, and people should take advantage of the greatness that is this community. And I totally agree with you. it's great to get that feedback from people, because you can't really evolve and fix the things that's broken unless you put something out there for people to play in order to find out what's wrong with it in the first place.
Yeah, and the same goes like with that 30-minute challenge I was talking about. Um, we like the host doesn't say, "Really? That's all you could do?" No, no, no. It's always helpful. You know, like, wow, you did this in 30 minutes. That's amazing. I couldn't do this. I like what you did there. There's it's just a huge group of people who are just trying to make great art, and
Yeah.
that's it turns out those kinds of people are nice. So there you
So
go.
what when you first started with Dreams, like you mentioned, you have no sort of background in game development or anything. I mean, how long did it take you to get to the point where you were comfortable enough to actually start developing the first Opposite Day, and how long did that take you to create that project?
I think it was only I had dreams for maybe 3 months. Um, I did absorb as many videos and tutorials from Media Molecule
Mhm.
and some other dreamers as much as possible. So I was at an advantage when I got my hands on it, that I knew the button combinations, I knew a lot of the logic, which scared me at first, but now you know I know a lot about the most basic ones, enough to make a game working with kind of almost like stick and duct tape, uh,
Mm.
but it works. But yeah, really just absorbing all those videos early, so that way that I kind of hit the ground running
Yeah.
uh, in dreams. So that helped immensely, and
I
then just sticking with it.
Yeah, I did not. I did not hit the ground running. I just that is not an accurate summation of my experience, but it was more like me banging my head into things because I stuck through the tutorials, but then most of them were about most of the beginning ones were about creating gameplay and
Mhm.
like platforming, and I was like, I just want to make movies. So so I like skipped a lot of the important ones like to go and just try to create and then came back. But on the screen, because he asked a question about Opposite Day 1.
Hmm.
I don't know if you remember when I played this. I put up clips of it because you had told me to play it on I think the first ever stream we did. And this game this game straight up was I thought this thing was like, Princess Bride, like trying to do some crazy like brain trickery on me. And I was like, so should I jump? Or maybe I shouldn't jump, but maybe that's what he wants me to think. So it's almost as if I knew you before I knew you. Like it was
That's the thing I said with my what dreams means to me is like, yeah, you a lot of people might feel like they get to know me from just that's my humor. I put it in there, and then you're seeing it. It has my fingerprints all over it, and yeah, the thing with that game is like you can see why I can't do that really do that exact idea for a sequel, because it's
yeah.
just, oh well, I see an up arrow, that means I go down, done.
Mm.
So it kind of evolves even within the game. As I was doing it, there's only a couple of those: left arrow, go right, says jump, don't jump, done. And then there's a little, hey, here's a shortcut, the dead end. You can walk straight through that dead end, by the way. Um, it kind of needs to evolve. And oh, I lost the question again. But anyways, yes, I've kind of set up this, because I keep calling them Opposite Day. A lot of
Hmm.
people who are new will just go, oh, says this, that must mean you don't
Mm.
do that. But it's just kind of the name, and the tone. Like, if I put out a new one, you're gonna know that there's some silliness, and I'll probably try and trick you, sure, but it's not gonna be as simple as literally do the opposite of what I say. But um, yeah, I kind of, when I had that idea first, it was, and I have the benefit of seeing a lot of people stream it. Uh, it's it kind of messes with you. But I can only do that trick once, I feel. So that's why I've only really done one of those in
And
that style.
have you received any type of adverse reaction to people playing your games? Because
I
around,
see a fair bit, yeah.
maybe like any stories or
Well,
it's,
there's a lot of people who I think they just don't like that humor. I mean, because this character of me in the game is just acting like, well, this is opposite day 3. I made this game, you're in it, I'm in charge. Haha, you can't escape because I'm the creator. I did this. And then I keep evolving that character, where there's one game where I kept saying, haha, I'm so funny. And I see a few comments where they're just like, okay, we get it. You think you're funny. It's annoying that you keep talking about it. And it's like, that's the joke.
That's the point, yeah.
If you didn't get it,
Yeah.
that's okay. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of other games you can play. You don't have to like it, but for those who like it and get it, I guess that's it. You don't really have to get it. Or, excuse me, you don't have to like it. I just want you to get it. I want you to be in on the joke. I'm not mean in it. If I am, I want you to know that it's a joke.
yeah.
But sometimes, get people who don't get it, and they let me know, and I'm not going to change the game. Sorry. So
And
Yeah.
was Opposite Day 6 kind of your response to that?
That's such a good question.
maybe, because the story with that is it's kind of this thing that I didn't name it Opposite Day when the game came out. It was just called Yeti Soda Pop, which is an anagram of Opposite Day. And I wanted to kind of, what if you start a game and then it turns into something with, a bigger, that's part of a bigger series and you have no idea. So, it might have been a little bit of response to that. And then I try to have a completely rhyming game. And then that's another thing. Some people don't like the rhyming. Like, everything he's saying is a rhyme.
I was
I don't
going to
know.
ask you, are you a fan of rap?
I mean, I didn't used to. I used to really like a lot of rock and punk music, but now, yeah, very much Eric Egan, Rakim, Bone
Uh-oh.
Thugs and Harmony, and
Oh, God.
I've been really, really getting into. Just I don't know why I didn't like it at first. Maybe I just didn't give it a chance.
Yeah, most people that don't like something, unless it's country, just to just it's like they say, like, I'm open to all sorts of music, but it's literally, there's something out there for everyone, even in country, to go back on that joke. But there's, like, you just have to come across the thing that speaks to you, as with every medium. Like, it's why some people look at a white canvas with a dot and see their whole history in it, and other people are like, yo, you how much is that painting? Like, really? It's just, you just got to find your thing. But yeah, that really stood out to me because you kept using, like, the Yeti Pop. I was like, is he, like, going for, like, a Lonely Island kind of vibe? Because it reminded me of early Lonely Island stuff. And but yeah, cool. I'm glad you're expanding and getting into rap. It's a good thing.
Yeah, there's so many. Sometimes when you see someone is just like, yeah, I only listen to this kind of music. It's like, what? Why? I mean, first of all, like, I try to listen to most of the music I listen to, new music. This is now a music podcast. The music I listen to, I try to make most of it be stuff I've never heard before. The barrier to entry these days is so low, like with Spotify or whatever. It's just like, oh, there's a full album. It's going to take me half an hour, 40 minutes. Okay, hit play. And it's just so easy to just try new things. And same, hey, bring it back to dreams. Like, if you are not good at sculpting, try it out. Like, it's right there. Dreams is so fast. When you just start up dreams, you can be starting making something within seconds, which is again, those 30-minute challenges are so helpful. Just try something, and then if you don't like it, you can delete it. Just
I've done that
just
so many times.
yeah, that can be good. I mean, every improvement.
I
Rage
have
quit
never
dreams.
I've never released anything on Dreams ever. My creativity is all in my brain, and I do not have the ability to output it on Dreams.
You can find people who
Well,
are the opposite,
I
and
have.
Yeah.
there you go.
That's where Lucid Nebula Studios came from. Just
Collaboration.
molding all together, one big team.
Yes.
That's what it's
Wonderful.
all about.
And when our
So-
powers combine. Sorry.
Yeah. Um, I want to ask, are you ever gonna stop making Opposite Day, or do you have the intent to just go on as long as you can take it?
Um, I don't want to. I never want to say never. The only thing I might say would be like maybe I'll take a big break from it, but it's I will stop when I can't think of any more ideas to do with it. But usually on my off season, when when I've just put one out, I just have a big list. Anytime I think of an idea, oh okay, that could work for a little skit or a little gimmick, write it down, and in the later games, like I try to do like a bigger story thing. So then I think of like, oh, I could introduce this new character, or something can happen to this character. Like, spoilers for number 9, I get kidnapped by Chad, and I do have a plan for that. And after that, maybe I'll take a little break, and then eventually I'll be like, oh, I know what to do. So yeah, I never want to say never, but I also don't know how long I can go. But I will say, as long as I have ideas that I think are good, I'll just keep going. And maybe I have mentioned there being up to 150 opposite days.
Wow.
That's a joke, of course. I do have up to 17 that I've mentioned within the games themselves. Those could all be jokes as well, but who knows? But yeah, never say never. And when I can't think of any ideas, then I'll stop.
So you've introduced a lot of characters into Opposite Day since, at least since from the first one. I mean, what inspires you to create the characters you've got? Because I'm quite interested in the Yeti, and where the origination of that idea fruited from.
That just came from when I made Opposite Day 4, and I knew I was going to skip 5 and just come out with 6, so that way I could reference 5 and make everybody angry because they're like, hang on, what? Where is it? So I wanted to start out making a game, and I wasn't going to call it Opposite Day 6. So I just went on an online anagram finder, and I typed Opposite Day into it, and get a huge list. And one of them was Yeti Soda Pop. And the wheels just started rolling. I was just like, oh my gosh, okay. So I could have like a little fake commercial. Okay, who'd the mascot be? Oh, the Yeti. And it just came from that. Like, everything came from that online anagram maker. And I just saw it from a different direction. And it just snowballed from there. With this Yeti character and the whole soda, and then turning them into like this big corporation, and just like, okay, where's this Yeti from? How come he can talk and rhyme? And it just keeps going from there. So, I don't know if people have that same thing where it's just like, hey, here's this weird path. Just go down it and see what happens. And I just went down it, and I went to go see what happens, and there it is.
And
All came from that.
That's what I think so interesting about your series is there is literally no road that you're not willing to go down. And although you know the undertone of Opposite Day as a player, and you've played the past games, like if you were to release another Opposite Day now, like I myself as a player would not know what to expect. Even though there's been 9 games, I would not know what to expect in the next one because they're so random, and you just you don't care. You just whichever way you want to go, that's it. And if you don't like it, then that's tough. This is the direction I'm taking it, and I really admire that.
Thank
It's
you.
it's really cool.
Yeah, sometimes I get so excited when I have, because like I know what's going on with number 10, and I know it's going to be so fun and funny what happens in it, but then comes the hard part. I need to make it. Not that it's hard, but it's like I have the intro and I have the outro, or the the ending. I
Mm.
just need to, I have the foundation and I know what color the walls are going to be and I know what the furniture is going to look like. I need to put up the walls. I need to do the insulation, put the roof on. So there's the nuts and bolts of it. Uh, for me, is a little slower, but from that comes certain things where, like, maybe I don't know how the button I have, in my games I usually have a button that you have to push like 1,000 times or something. I think that just, again, with dreams, and I think I mentioned this in my other that video, the what dreams means to me, is like there's that near improv creation in dreams, because it's so fast to make something and to mock something up, where most of the games, like, those ideas are happening as I'm making it. Say I'm making this one part and I think, oh, that'd be so funny if you had to do this and that and that. And so, like, I'm not one of those people who has a big old book and writes down like the script and basically, like, the shooting directions of, okay, this scene A, blah blah blah, this has to go here, this has to go here. It's so loose, and yeah, I that's why I like dreams. Uh,
So
Boy, I forgot the question.
is most of the voiceover that you do in your games then pretty much the first take, or do you do a lot of retakes?
It's
Because there's a lot
usually
of
gonna
voiceover in
be,
games.
yeah, it's usually gonna be the first take, or I'll like scrap the whole thing, and it's probably bad, like, just not really wasted time because I'm learning, but
Mm.
it's always to, that wasn't funny. Also, a thing like, I I want to get I don't want to waste people's time, except when I do and make them stand on an X for potentially a few hours. You can do that if you want, but for the majority of people who just want to just play, I want it to be a tightened up experience too. So, um, a lot of times when I do like recordings, there'll be just a lot of extra stuff, and be like, I just want to get them to the next thing. So I'll kind of speed it up. Um, but yeah, some of it, actually most of it, is I have a general idea. There's no real hard and fast script, and I'll just turn on the microphone and just kind of go,
So you would
see what
say that
happens.
the majority of the script that is in Opposite Day is improvised on the point.
Yeah, I have like a general idea of what needs to happen, where we're going, and then I'll just kind of figure it out
Interesting.
live
That's,
live when I'm recording.
oh.
Yeah, quite a bit. And I've never taken any improv classes or anything. I don't know. Maybe I should.
Just that process is so alien to me. Just it's so alien to me. I love it. I love it, and I definitely have nothing but respect for it. It's just like I said, I'm George R. Martin over here. Like I'm never gonna finish. Like I don't know. That's it.
Oh,
It sounds
I'm
so freeing. It it
it
sounds
really
so
does.
freeing.
I
mean,
don't want to get too sappy, but like, I really, I've been waiting for my whole life for dreams to be made. So, be, without really knowing it, maybe
I
just
think a lot
like,
of people would agree with you on that.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
there's a ton. Just being like, oh, finally, you've made this thing for me. Thank you, just for me. Um, but it's so, yeah, there's just something about it. It's just so easy to just throw your ideas out there. Uh, and yeah, I don't take no for an excuse when someone's like, yeah, but I don't want to do this. It's like, just keep going. you got to keep going. You got to fail. Sometimes really big. Just keep at it. Um, yeah, that's. I don't know. Like if you took 6 months off from actually physically touching the controller and making something, that would be tough. So I always kind of feel like I need to brush up and
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of be in it and make stuff. Even if I just make something and then just throw it away. Just you're just playing around like with clay, and then just when you're done, put it back. Play-Doh, put it back when you're done. Just make something.
I just need my
Sharpen
move
skills.
controllers to actually do what I want them to. That's pretty much where I am. I just yeah, because I don't know if it's like I'm too far from the TV, too close to the TV, if my camera's not gonna work being on top of a TV, if it has to be in
Or
front of me.
Too much light in the room.
Yeah, I mean, because we all know. I mean, I'm not trying to go down this, this road, but we all know that, that all the camera technology has a little trouble with the darker persuasion. You should. I'm just saying, you should have seen me try to use the Kinect. It was amazing. I was a ghost. But the point is that yeah, I mean, I haven't. I don't know if I'm following you on Twitch. I feel like I did when you sent me the game, when you were like, hey, try Opposite Day. I feel like I followed you. But how often do you stream? Because that'll let me know. Because I get all of the everybody gets All-Stars and, Mbergs. I'm like, I can't think of the last time I saw the notification. So.
I sometimes like during the week, I'll just stream from the PlayStation, no camera, just it. Not all the time is dreams, but sometimes 2 hours here and there, 1 hour, that's fine. Then usually for the weekends, I'll like to do multiple games, maybe throw dreams on and show what I'm working on, play other people's games. I also like to give tutorials out for like sharing what I know, which isn't everything, but having that, you put a comment, I can read it, and then as I'm working, you put another comment saying, hang on, wait, we can change it up. It helps having that almost not really live tutor, but basically actually, like, I have a question for this one thing. I know there's plenty of other streamers who do that, but I like to share what I know, and yeah, I stream a fair bit. I've really been liking it. I don't know, it's just so fun.
So being that you work so free, he's just the free man. Being that you're so free, is there a game that you feel is your opus? Is there that one project that you're like, all of the free stuff is, that's for me to just continue to evolve my skill and blah, blah. Is there that one thing that you're like, but this game I'm going to spend 2 years on, or, at least, 3 months or so? Like, do you have that game?
I mean, I kind of feel that way with Opposite Day games. Like, I don't want to hype it too much, but number 10, like, it's not, I'm not going to wrap anything up like and be done with it. But it's going to have a nice, like, this is 10. It's a nice number. It's a nice way to kind of celebrate all my past works. There's going to be plenty of stuff that fans of the earlier games are going to enjoy. So it's a nice way of just being like, hey, I want you to know that I'm really going to go for it in this one. Just number 10, boom, big one. And yeah, I to be honest, I think like that game that you're talking about, like, I don't know of it yet. When I have an idea, it'll happen. But I mean, I put a lot of work, and I love my Opposite Day series so much that it'll probably be one of those.
Okay.
Maybe not 10, who knows? But eventually I'll have an idea for Opposite Day, because, again, I have so many characters, and everybody knows the rules or lack of rules in the universe there. It'll probably be an Opposite Day game where hopefully I can make people just go, oh my gosh, this is amazing, and where I will want to really put some serious time into it. But yeah, one of my one of my downsides is as I get to 90% finished, I'm just like, it's good enough. It's good enough. Just go, because I want people to see what I've been holding my tongue on. Be like, I can't tell you about this fun thing that I like that's going to happen in the game, and so I can get a little impatient. But hopefully, yeah, when there's one game where it's just like, you're going to have to wait quite a while. I guess I don't know, but I think the opposite day games or that kind of series is what I've always wanted to make, and just a fun world to be in for a while, where it's not like a gritty, realistic shooter, World War II kind of thing, or like a big fantasy thing. It's just kind of a hey, I can do whatever I want, and you are not going to be sure what's going to happen. And I think that's just what I want to make.
So what you're saying is we'll just notice it when you go quiet.
Yes.
When you go quiet, that's when we know the big things coming.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm down. I'm down.
So watch for me being quiet, which will.
Do we have sort of an estimate? Do we have a time window when we should expect Opposite Day 10?
Here
or next? I mean, you don't have to be too specific.
I want to get to before the end of the year,
Okay.
because I feel like I'm there. Like I just need to, put in the walls, put in the things, throw some stuff around. I mean, I have the start and the beginning and the end. I know that, but yeah, all that middle stuff, not quite sure about it yet. But once I get going, it for all of them really, I struggle in the beginning, just kind of like, okay, well, I got to put this here, got to do this. Oh, got to figure some logic how to make this work. But as it goes along, it becomes more of like, oh gosh, I can't wait to oh, I have to go to sleep. Well, fine, I'll go to sleep, and then when I wake up, finally, I can do this. It just starts going and going. So I always look forward to when I hit that point, and then I can just feel it, and I know I'm on the last stretch, and it's just like, it's so fun. But right now, where I am, I'm not there. It's just gotta do it.
I find your workflow so fascinating. Like, even you as yourself, you have no idea where this game is going to go. No different than the player does, and I just find that so fascinating from someone who's involved with a project myself, with Lucid Nebula Studios, with Project Zero. Everything is so meticulously thought about. There's scripts, there's timelines, there's storyboards, there's constant meetings week after week to make sure everything's on point and consistent in how we want it. And to hear someone that has developed 9 games and on their 10th, and that how they develop their game is just so free and just see it as you go, and whatever happens is so fascinating to me. And yet the games work, they're concise, and they make sense. It's quite an achievement.
Thank you. That just boils down to dreams, because it's that open. You can go in any direction you want. You can spend that much time just meticulously making this perfect game, or be like me and just be like, it's good enough, and just let it go. It caters to all kinds of creators. Hey, that rhymed. So that's the beauty of Dreams, available now on PlayStation 4.
So we had a question from Insane Alpha Beta. He said, "What is Casey's inspiration for the mall in Opposite Day 9, and why was it the mall from Vengeful Eyes?"
So I'm not familiar with that, but basically the idea was, I want to have a space you could go around in where I can put little jokes into their own little rooms. And where's a place with a whole bunch of little rooms? For me, that I just was like, oh, a mall. Because with Opposite Day 3, there was a city, and you'd have like the shops, kind of the same idea. I just put it all into one spot. And when you're in a mall, might as well make it look like a fun early 90s or 80s looking mall, which is like what I remember. And that's all I got for that, I should say.
All right.
Well,
Well, Will, I'm gonna pass over to you because I feel like I've been hogging all the questions over here.
You have.
wow. So, so if you, so one of the questions I had, well, you know what? I'm going to go with this one first. Politics Fest.
So,
So, I mean, that's pretty much my question, but like,
it came from there's Patrick Klepek, who used to work at OneUp.com, GiantBomb.com, Kotaku, Waypoint. He would stream Dreams, and I'd be like, "Oh man, I've been a fan of you for a long time." And he just mentioned, "Yeah, next stream I'm going to be playing. I'm going to search the term politics and just find that." And I was like, "Okay, I'll just throw together something silly." It's really that simple. Just two fake candidates saying, "Don't listen to this person, listen to me," and done. So just whip that together in about 45 minutes, and there it is. I wanted to impress someone who I've enjoyed their work for a while.
awesome. And Yeti Pop, like the recycle game. So, is there a point to putting the cans in the recycling bin?
No, it is so fun to watch people stream that, because even when the dialogue's done and we're telling you go this way, they're just like, "Okay, I just got to put all the cans in. Just put all the cans in first.
I just
Done.
got to do this
And then leave." It's so funny. It's just, one of those things about video games where you just have to, like, well, I got to do this, right? There's no payoff. I think that's why I put in those things. So it's like, stand here, just do it, see what happens. Maybe there's nothing. Or hit this button 2,000 times. I'm not going to tell you what it does, but there's just that thing of, hang on, there's cans outside of the recycle bin. I'm allowed to put them in. There must be a reason why, right? Same with in the mall on Opposite 89, throwing coins into the fountain. That's all it is. You're just hitting a button. Your money goes down. You throw the coin in, makes a splash. Done.
See,
There's nothing.
I had to put the cans in the bin because like all I could hear was my wife. My wife just being like, "What are you doing with that can?" And I was just, "Oh shit, I got to put it in the I got to put all these cans in the bin, or it's, so there's that." And the music video for the music video for the Yeti had me dying. I just
It's just one of those things. I never thought I'd be doing that. But granted, that style, I'm not trying to sing or anything, or I just kind of just speaking these simple rhymes I wrote, and then halfway through it turns in. I was like, "Oh, this is a commercial for the soda." Yeah, I don't know. Some about starting this dreams thing just made me want to explore different things. Just break out of my comfort zone. Really, that's the best advice I can give someone. Just see what you can do. Just go outside the comfort zone a little bit.
So I've fallen in love with this idea of having chat turn against me after last week because of what I said about Art's dream. So prepare yourselves. I find your satire funny, and it was really weird to hear your influence be Monty Python. Because I do not like Monty Python.
Ending the call.
I mean, people have had that reaction to me before because I say it and I'm just like, I feel like there's two levels. Oh, Eddie, stop it. I feel like there's two levels. Like there's two different generations of, and I could be wrong. Like I feel like most people might say I already am, but I feel like there's two different generations of British humor. And I feel like one was like the super dry, extra witty that I grew up with. And then there came like what I like to call the Simon Pegg era. And it changed to the like just enough. It's still what it was, but it changed just enough that for some reason I was able to like finally just kind of be like, oh, that's funny. And I don't know what the reason is for that. But yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe your games and the fact that I do enjoy them will ultimately bring me back, and I'll be able to appreciate the I love what's happening in chat.
Oh
See,
boy.
I completely agree with you though on that, Will. Like I see it the
Don't
exact
don't
same way.
don't die on this hill with me. You don't want to be here. You don't want to you don't want to
Well,
be
no,
here with me.
I'm a very honest person. I'm not a fan of Python either, but a huge fan of Simon Pegg. I get it. I don't understand why, but it is just I don't know why. It just is.
The thing that I loved about Monty Python is just they don't. It seemed like they didn't care like if you got it, the joke. They have like their TV show was really big for me. Like I don't know how much you watched of Flying Circus, their TV show,
Mhm.
but there's just so much there. They just change like they don't use punchlines a lot. They'll just be like,
Yeah.
okay, we're done here. See ya. Sorry if you're not satisfied with that. And just messing with the audience. There's one episode where it's called Deja Vu, and they just restart with one character being confused in it. I don't know. I'm not going to explain to you why you're
No.
wrong for not liking it, or try to explain it and say, hey, you should like it now. That's perfectly fine. You can like or dislike whatever you want. But
I think the chat disagrees with
Yeah,
us
the
right
chat
now.
disagrees with it. but like let me say, the thing is that I wouldn't say none of it was funny. Like it was just I think it was a reaction to how much people loved it around me, to the point where it was constantly quoted, and I was like, I'm a big movie guy. So I was like, all right, time to sit down and get my laugh on. And I just wasn't ready, I don't think. Like I don't think I knew what I was walking into, because there I mean everyone always quotes the Black Knight, and um I did enjoy Life of Brian a lot more than most, and but like it's not like I'm saying like they're horrible. It's just it wasn't pH balanced for me, is what I'm saying. And
I do think a lot of people will just be like, Monty Python made the Holy Grail movie, and then maybe some others, I guess. I think there's a lot of fandom for just that movie, so much more than all the rest. I mean, if you just go by like jokes and hours of entertainment, the TV show is so much more than all the movies put together. I mean, they did 3 movies, and one of them was basically a best of. A fourth one was basically a best of their show. So,
yeah.
I mean, I think that some people where Monty Python is just the Holy Grail, they maybe quote it to death. I know that nobody likes that when someone just says the same thing over and over again, especially around you, and you don't get it. Yeah, so I understand, but I will say there's still a lot of stuff to enjoy about the TV show. Except for me, it's a little harder because they're across the ocean and separated by about 50 years, so the references can be a little tough to understand. But I still thought just the style. I just like they're very smart. They knew what they were doing, and if you get them, then you're their friend, and if you don't get them, they don't care about you. So it's fine if you don't like them.
Yeah.
But chat, be nice. Chat, be nice.
Thank you for following Rodney Dangerfield, which was always one of my favorites personally. But yeah, so I've gone off into my movie zone, and I'm sure we'll find something else. To you know what? Let's go back into it. There's a hill that I need to die on yet again. So, what were your thoughts on Art's Dream? And I'm going I'm going back into this only because I feel like people didn't understand what I was saying last week, and it's completely my fault. But I want to know what you felt about it. Like, we'll start there.
I did. I did enjoy it. Like, and seeing, like, I could see it being really tough for people just starting out. where they see this and be like, no, there's no way they use the same tools. They were cheating, right?
Mm.
Because they made the game, of course. So they're gonna know everything about it and also have a long time to make it. But for me, it was just a fun experience. Everything about it, and I could see the quality, and I never really thought like, oh, this is I'm gonna be able to beat them one day by making something even better. Uh,
Plebs.
I think
No.
it's essentially like, it's them showing off what you can do in the game. There's the platformer section, the kind of point and click almost
Mm.
thing, and there's that flying section. Like,
Hmm.
so it's basically not really. It's almost part of the tutorial to the game, I think. A sizzle reel basically for like, hey, check out all these things you could do. Maybe
Mm.
you want to do this. Maybe you want to do this. I don't know. If you don't like it, that's fine.
See,
But
see, see. That's the thing. It's not that I don't like it. All the things that people said in chat was like they were correct. It's a tech demo for what you were getting into. The only aspect that I have like any you know
Choose
it's
your words wisely.
yeah, I know, because I'm trying to do this better than I did last week, because I understand why people were reacting. See, okay, Verbal Creative just said it. Story wise, I was underwhelmed, but inspired by the artistry. That is the perfect Verbal Creative. You stay true to your name. I love you. That's exactly like my only thought. Is that the story, which because I'm such a big movie guy, it came off as like when you have that ensemble cast, which means nobody gets their proper due in the movie. Like you can't focus on any one thing because there's so many pieces. That's kind of how it came off to me. And it's like everything that I experienced in the game, it's not that I was sitting there like, oh, garbage. I wasn't made like doing that. But it was like when the story completed and I liked where it ended and the message that it ended on. But because of the way it was done through these different tech elements, it wasn't the strongest part to me. Not that I'm like, I hope that I know. Dig the hole. Dig the hole. But I mean, I'm just trying to do it better than I did last week, guys. That's all I'm trying to accomplish here. Like cuz I really felt, I mean, I've been taking hits on that in different like streams for different people for for like all week. And I think I think people really think I hated this game. Like it was just so weird to me that I felt like I needed to come back. So at Dirty Harold's, yeah, there we go. It's okay to be wrong. Sometimes you gotta fail up. you gotta fail up to success. So, all right. But anyway, James, now I've taken all the time. Let me toss it back over, and I know Shades. You had said don't ask you questions like this. Well, Shades, throw your In Dreams link in the chat. I think you can do it. And I'm going to throw you our Discord so that we can possibly get you on here so we can ask you those questions. But yes, James, continue.
So one question we ask all of our guests that come on the podcast is there a feature that you feel is lacking from Dreams? And if you have said feature, what would it be?
Yeah. I mean, I think the obvious, which is coming, is the multiplayer, online multiplayer.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of if, it's when. Like, we just have to sit tight. When it's ready, it'll be ready. And that'll just give so much. It'll give so much life to so many games and make people start thinking of new games. But I do think the limitation, or the thing with dreams, here are the tools. What can you do with these tools? It's nice to think like, oh, throw this in, throw that in, throw that in. But there's something to be said about, hey, here you go. I think of it just like, artist palette. Hey, here are the three primary colors. What can you do with those? Well, you can paint. Think of your favorite painting. You can probably paint that with starting with those base primary colors.
Yeah.
But yeah, adding plenty of features is going to be, multiplayer. I know there's going to be some new instruments coming. That's going to be real good. But at a certain point, like, do you want it to be bogged down and just to have people who maybe already feel overwhelmed just be like, oh, now there's 10 more rows of things, of gadgets and options. But yeah, I'm under the impression of like, here's what we have. You can think of your favorite game in Dreams. Everyone had those tools. I don't think of it as too limiting, but I do enjoy knowing that this is coming or this is going to be improved.
Yeah.
So another thing, one thing that would be fun would be like more Twitch integration, which might be coming. Who knows? I don't really know. But being able to, since there's so many Dream streamers out there, and having a way you can make games and have some kind of interaction with the chat in the stream could really be huge. Kind of like with VR, where it's like, hey, what other game, or how the barrier to make a VR game with Dreams is very low. Anybody who has VR, PS4, and Dreams, you can make a VR game. Game pretty big. So imagine just doing that for, hey, you can make an online multiplayer this easy. You can make a game for interacting with Twitch. You can do that yourself with the same tools everybody else has. The future for Dreams looks pretty interesting, but I'm also fine if they only add just a couple things here and there. I'm fine with what we have, because we haven't seen, even if they stop right now, we haven't seen the maximum potential of what's possible.
Absolutely.
So sometimes when I see people say, oh man, this, blah, 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 it's like, well, we haven't run out of games to make with even when it launched with the basic stuff. So everything else is just, icing on the cake. That's just how I feel about it.
And before Mighty Vicious just sort of segues into his next question, you mentioned VR. Can we expect opposite day VR, or is that something that you've tried? Is it something you're thinking of doing? Or
so I do have a VR headset. I've made a couple things here and there. For me, I'm not that interested in spending too much time in VR. I do get a little woozy sometimes. I may have a little issue with the resolution on the headset. I do know, like, it's better with PS4 Pro, and then hopefully PS5, it'll look better. But yeah, I do have some ideas for more games in VR. Sometimes, the resolution being pretty low.
Yeah,
I just focus on that too much, I think, and I focus on the light creeping through.
Yeah,
it's just my personal. I'm not really able to get.
Yeah, I agree. It's not exactly the best headset, and I've recently moved to a different VR platform because of that. But I think we're going to see massive improvements with the next generation for PS5, which I think would be a massive impact on the VR creations that we'll see in Dreams.
And that's another thing, is like that's the hardware of the system, and Dreams is going to be fine. Like, there's not going to be needing to add anything extra. That's simply they're working with what they got, and when that gets better, so that'll be great.
So basically, the question I wanted to ask, because it's not necessarily one that I thought of myself, because I'm not necessarily that worried, but I came across a few threads and a few videos on YouTube where people are actually being made uneasy by the fact that we're not hearing more about Dreams on PS5 yet. Like, they made the statement long ago, as was brought up, I believe by by Wargarble that they already said Dreams is running on the PS5. They have a 10-year plan. But the fact that people are being made uneasy that nothing's really coming out yet as far as, is there going to be that charge to go to the, to move up to the next console, or, what are they planning for changes? And I'm not worried about it because we've already talked about many times on this podcast. I don't care what they do. They could literally tell me I have to buy it again, and I will, which they shouldn't do. But if they were to ask me to do it, I would do it and be angry, and then I get over it. But are you uneasy at all? I don't know how much in these conversations you get.
Yeah, I try to just so I hope that nobody's putting the fault on Media Molecule, because they're being told by Sony whether they can say this or that. It's for Sony to release that information, and that's why this is very topical about like pre-ordering the PlayStation 5. Like I was hoping to get a little more information. Like, can I just sign in to the PS5 and then just start downloading any purchases I made, or what? I would like a little more information on backwards compatibility, but also like I'm just going to go on with my day-to-day life until that news comes out. There's nothing I can do to make them bring it out faster. I'm also just not worried. Like,
yeah,
we've been told, and this is probably going to be in one of those games, since we know that Shuhei Yoshida is such a fan of Dreams. It's got a lot of support at Sony from what I've seen, so I'm just not worried. I think everything's gonna be fine, and I don't know if it's gonna be any extra price.
Well, I mean, Sony did announce, someone from Sony did announce, and it has since been confirmed, that 99% of all PS4 games will be compatible on the PS5. So that leads me to believe that if we don't get a direct PS5 update for Dreams, the PS4 version will just work on the PS5 regardless. Mm-hmm. However, my opinion on it is I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we will get a PS5 version. Whether that be firmware increase, and we've discussed that way too much on the show before, and how that can split the community, but I think they will do something that will be beneficial to PS5 players, and not only to be beneficial to the ones that have early adapted to the new system, but also to get the Dreamiverse moving on to the next generation of console quicker, so that once they've got those numbers and the majority of the Dreamiverse is on PS5, then they can start to introduce firmware increases and stuff without causing any issues between two generations of consoles. So I think they're going to be doing something to sort of give that push to say, well, I wasn't convinced about getting the console, but seeming as Dreams is doing this, I'm going to get one.
Yeah, I've also just, like, sometimes I see people stream my games on a PS4 Pro, which I don't have, and it just runs better in play mode.
Yeah.
And that right there for people going from the base launch PS4 to 5, you're going to get those kind of benefits. Like, games are going to run at 60, and that has nothing to do with the thermo or anything. It's just simply...
No, yeah, it's just simply hardware.
Yeah, so I think just that basic level is going to be a nice increase for people. But yeah, we don't have 100% of the... I guess what I'm saying is don't think about the worst. Some of these people in threads and stuff, I think they just go worst case scenario first. I don't know.
I would agree.
The best way to go.
It never is.
Chill.
Just take it as it is.
I mean, let's be honest. Media Molecules probably had a PS5 sat in their office for about 6 months.
Yeah, there's
maybe even longer. Who knows?
And yeah, don't bug them. They're not hiding information from you. It's just part of a plan to roll out some information. Just instead of worrying about it, just make something in Dreams.
It's part of the plan, but whose plan is it? No.
There we
go. Clearly Sony's.
Yeah.
Only if Sony's in charge.
Yeah.
It's possible. And I wanted to, somebody said in the comments before, it was like, oh, yeah, well, they haven't mentioned anything about PlayStation 6 yet. And I, and I'm like, so, yeah, I agree. That's exactly what I feel like the tone. But it just surprised me, like, how there was that worry at all. It just didn't seem like it was founded in anything. I'm like, they already said it's coming. Like, when the game pretty much released because it was so late into the PS4 lifespan. And I don't know. Well, but yeah,
hope for
you're
the
right.
best. Just everybody hope for the best. And how bad could it be? Like, worst case scenario is people like, right, you're gonna have to buy the game again. That seems pretty far. But if also that's the worst case scenario, so be it. But hey, another thing is, it's gonna work on your PS4 like it is now. So if you're really that worried, hold on to the PlayStation 4. I don't know. Maybe do that. But
Yeah,
just
that's what I've done. Like, I was ready to sell my PS4 after seeing all the announcements of the PS5. I was like, right, that's got to go. I'm just going to make the room right now for that beautiful piece of machinery. But then I was like, but wait, then I wouldn't have Dreams. So I'm like, I'll just keep it until the PS5 comes out and hear what's going to happen with Dreams. It's not a big deal.
yeah, and yeah, you have that option, and with the information you have, but as we get closer, we'll probably get the finalized version of the information that we backwards compatibility. What's up?
Yeah.
But I'm not worried. I think we're in good hands, and I think it's going to be a smooth transition.
I mean, if
to the
anything, I
PlayStation 5.
think if anything, I think people should get excited because there's
Yeah.
so much opportunity for Dreams to evolve into something so much bigger than what it is now. I mean, already now it's such an achievement and such a massive piece of software to be able to run on a PS4. I mean, granted, my PS4 sounds like it's ready to take off, but it works. I mean, games load so fast. There's no rendering of characters and textures and things. Everything's so seamless, and that's on this generation. So just think of what they can do with the next one.
Yeah, and even if it's simply the game loads up for you to start making that much faster, like even without any thermo, the knock-on effects of having a more powerful console, just for tightening up load times, even though they're very short, and just all that kind of stuff, that's already a good enough benefit, even if and when you talk about PSVR benefits to that, I think just the most lower level of improvements for a lot of people, that's probably good enough, even if they didn't add any extra. So the bare minimum can be really good.
I think we're gonna get extra one way or another. I mean, Media Molecule is just too creative to not take advantage of that extra hardware. I mean, I don't think we'll see it straight away, but I think it's inevitable that we're going to be like, okay, here's this big, massive hardware update because we just could not let it slide. They're just too creative.
Well, Ledbetter said that John Beach has probably already made an English breakfast with the most detailed beans you've ever seen.
He probably has.
He probably has. I agree.
Oh my God. Can you imagine his train set on PS5? Oh.
Yikes.
Geez.
Yeah.
So on PlayStation 4. Come on, John Beach. Where is it?
Yeah.
Hurry up.
I think it's going to be a 2025 release for that game. He's always coming up with these great ideas, and like I never thought about helicopters and stuff that he's doing and helicarriers. I'm like, that's such a good idea. And I did ask him the other day, because he's quite active with us on Twitter. Actually, I was like, how far are you going to go with this? And he's like, there is so much more that's going to come with this. Like,
Space?
the train, the trains is just the beginning. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, 2025, we'll expect it then.
So after seeing a bunch of the stuff from Martin over the last couple of weeks, there's a question I do want to kind of wind down on, and that's, do you see an application for Dreams within your in real life profession or workplace? Like, do like, do you think there's a transition or a bridge for dreams into your life outside of the game, or maybe, well, you know what I mean, like in your job or
So
whatever?
yeah,
Can you see basically dreams being a point where you can use it commercially for
I
yourself?
see.
But
Well,
personally,
I guess yeah, like maybe like the knock-on effects, like some streamers who stream dreams will use that as their, you know, their, so not directly dreams, but they
Hmm.
do stream dreams and they get their money from streaming. Thus,
yeah,
that's
Yeah.
kind of where it comes from. But they talked about like being able to take your dream game and put it on the PlayStation Store. Just kind of loose ideas floating around about that kind of stuff. So in a more direct way in the future, that could very well be a thing. But also, you know, I think a lot of people are maybe waiting for the call, or most likely the message of like, hey, I like what you're doing in dreams. If you want to work with some different tools, but put your same ideas into our studio's thing. Yeah, I don't know. Or like J plus B, go from being a dreams creator to working at Media Molecule.
yeah,
So I could see there being a few different paths to that, but like for me personally, so I'm a Photoshop editor by day. So for me personally, in that sense, Dreams isn't gonna do anything for me there. But to be like a full time games creator or something, that I don't know. That would take a lot, because another thing about Dreams is I can just hop on whenever I want, work on a game, I'm done. Just kind of a in my free time. I should say everything I've made was while working on weekends and nights, just with my full time job. So it is kind of it's a hobby for me. It would take. I don't know if I would want that to be like a full time job. Like if I got the call from Studio XYZ, be like, hey, you want to make some games with us? Like I don't know, that might be tough for me, because like, well, can I do my own weird schedule and then maybe I get tired and don't want to make a game for a month? Is that cool? So yeah, for me personally, I don't know, that it's just one of those reasons why Dreams is perfect for me, is because I move at my own pace with it. It's always there, ready for me. Yeah.
hmm.
So
Well,
I
I'm
don't know.
just going to put it out there. If any studios are listening, wait till Project Zero comes out, and if you want to sign us up, I will be there with a pen ready for you.
There you go.
I'd love to
Yeah.
do this full time. I really would. It's just too much fun not to consider doing it as a full time position.
Hmm. Yeah. I
So
think what we've. Oh, sorry.
no. Continue.
I think what we've learned is that Dreams is cool and good and fun. Right? That's what you're saying. You just want to keep
Yeah.
going with Dreams.
Yeah, I just want to keep going.
Newsflash: Dreams is great. I like it, and that's all I. No, that's not all I got to say. I could go forever. Please, sorry I interrupted you. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say we do have to do our pick of the week, so we can take a little moment to do that. Did you want to lead us in, or do you want me to, James?
No, you go in, and I'll segue
Okay,
in.
all right,
in the
all
middle
right.
of
I'll
it,
try not to
do a little
interrupt.
some.
I mean, if you've played it, feel free. But our pick of the week this week is Ultimate 6-in-1 Retro Game Multicart, made by
title.
Surrounded. Yes, that was the first thing I noticed about it, because I was like, this title is pretty wild. But I liked a lot of the how would you say, the technical aspects of this game. I really like as you'll see in a moment, how it basically switches up into you playing 6 games at once, and something about the way it's done and the style and the fact that the little race car thing reminded me of Pole Position is just like, it really stood out to me. And I feel like not everyone would agree necessarily. Like, everybody will agree that it's a creation that deserves, someone created it, put their time into it. But I don't know. It's like, I feel like some people might be like, that's really silly. And I would be like, I don't care. But as you'll see here in the gameplay, I mean, just the fact that there's basically one button between 6 games and you're literally watching across all the screens trying to not, just straight up look like a moron in it. But yeah, it's so cool. I really liked it.
What
It
I
needs.
love of
Oh, sorry.
sorry, no, no, no. You please continue.
It needs to be played because you're at towards the end. You're splitting your attention between 6 sections on the screen, and you do have one button, but the timing is so important. There's, your heart gets racing in a way like only few games can do that. Even though what you're doing in each one is literally one button press to do one little thing, but it needs to be played. I'd be shocked if people in chat right now haven't played it, but it
Yeah,
has to be played
Ledbetter.
to understand what's going on.
Ledbetter. I agree. If this was like a mobile game, like $1, I feel like this would blow up like Angry Birds. So it would just be like such a simple yet fulfilling experience. And I think
What
that shows its mastery.
what I loved about it is the first time you play it and you don't know what you're expecting, and you sort of just playing the one screen, and then all of a sudden the second game comes on, and when I first played it, I thought it was 6 separate games. So I was like, oh, I must have pressed a button and switched to the next game. And I was like, huh, how do I fix that? So now I continue playing, then the third one came on, and I was like, well, hold on a minute. When I press this button, all 3 games are working at the same time. And then just as the next game come on and the next game come on, it was like, wow, this is such a clever idea. You are literally playing 6 games at once. It's not 6 separate games.
Mm-hmm.
They sort of amalgamate into one whole game. And with the art style that they've gone for, that retro sort of Game Boy look is so perfect for it, and it runs so smooth, and it really is a feat. It really,
I
really is.
I'm always impressed when I know I'm in Dreams and I know I'm playing Dreams, but when I'm looking at the screen, I'm like, you forget sometimes, like, whoa, 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 this was made in Dreams. Like,
I
it
don't know.
doesn't look anything like
I
Yeah.
have no
anything in
idea.
Dreams.
I couldn't even begin to try and figure out how they've managed to pull this off, because I think with Dreams you get so used to the same style where
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
people start using the base tools, they don't think outside the box, so you have these games that look like a Dreams game, right?
Yeah.
And then these gems come along, and you're like, unless it had the Made in Dreams watermark in the bottom right hand corner, you would have no idea that it was made on Dreams. And that's the games that I love, and that's why we picked them for pick of the week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I expect to see some. There's the Impy Awards, which I think a lot of people know.
Mm.
The and where the fans of Dreams can vote on their favorite uh, creation in various categories, and one of them is the I think I wish I thought of that award, and
Mm.
I might have to vote for this one because I wish I had thought of that. Like it's just that idea that
Yeah.
as soon as you play it, like
It's genius.
Void, the idea was right there the whole time. Like you're playing 6 games at once. That's the idea. You're playing 6 games at once with one button, but the execution is phenomenal. But I that's what I look for in Dreams is when it's just like, hang on, I could have done that if I had the idea, but you didn't.
You see, I wish that game would have been ready for the one button jam. That would have been such a good entry for that.
Mm-hmm. Top 3.
But yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, it got MM picked anyway. I mean, the game is so good. You know, people's going to recognize it for how great it is anyway. But
Oh yeah.
Well, we are reaching the end. Uh, are there any other questions? Anything you would like to speak about that we haven't touched on, Mr. Casey Jones?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, basically, what have we learned today? Dreams is great, and that's what I want to leave with everybody. Like, if you haven't purchased Dreams, pick it up right now. Uh, but I bet most of you, most of you have Dreams. But it's been a really important part of my life to have this outlet to to make video games. Something that I used to think about with my friends in high school. Like, wouldn't it be cool if we made a video game? Wouldn't it
Mm.
be cool? And I've been lucky to have people play it, play my games all around the world. And there's a lot of nice people out there who want to play my games and watch my streams. And I want to thank them. I mean, and Media Molecule, because
Always.
I don't want to be too sappy, but I mean, it's brought quite a lot of us together who would have probably never meet, just ships in
Oh,
the night.
for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, just take like my experience. I'm working now with a team of like 9 people on a project. I would have never have met these amazing people if it wasn't for Dreams, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so grateful for that. I'm just having such a good time with the community and the team that I'm working with on our project. It's only possible with Dreams, and I've had this conversation with friends where they're like, "But you could do that with conventional engines." I'm like, "No, you couldn't, because you would get onto the forums of Unreal and these other type of engines, and they'd be like, 'Yeah, it sounds great. Let's make a team, but how much are you going to pay me?'"
Mm-hmm.
Because the engine is built around commerce, whereas Dreams is built around the community and nothing else.
It's
And
the key
that's
point.
yeah, that's
And
what's so special
also
about it.
having the weekly shows by Media Molecule just showing, hey, here's some cool stuff we liked. That was what I dreamed about. I was just like, oh, maybe someday I can actually get on one of those shows, because I would watch the Media Molecule community creation streams
Mm.
before I got Dreams. Like, what if I could make something that they would show, and that everyone has the potential, just as long as there's no copywritten content in there.
Mm.
You're not infringing on any IPs.
Yeah.
Uh, you can be the makers of the game can be like, wow, this is really cool. Take that with your conventional like Unreal, or say you get your game on Steam. That's cool. Maybe you'll get somewhere. I mean, if it's really really good, it'll rise to the top. But like, how many new games are put out on Steam that just get buried? Whereas, sure, there's a lot of stuff being put out on Dreams, but to have these outlets of like, no, look at this one. This one's really cool. We made Dreams. We think this is cool, and this is really special. There's that connection to the makers of Dreams,
Yes, agreed.
uh, that
And
is nowhere else to be found that I've
and,
noticed.
and yeah, no, it's completely unique in that respect. I mean, with things like these conventional engines that are specifically designed for AAA development, people come to expect that requirement of quality and fidelity. Therefore, anything that comes under that belt is just denied of
Mm-hmm.
any attention at all. Whereas with Dreams, its intention was never to be that purpose. It was just a
Yeah.
cool thing to make cool things with for people that want to do it. So when people make stuff on Dreams, graphical fidelity, quality, it doesn't come into the picture. It's just, I'm a creator, I've made this, and then everyone else is like, that's great. Because it's the type of thing that it is. It's not the same, and nor does it try to be. It's its
Mm-hmm.
own thing completely, and that's what I love about it so much, is that it's
Yes.
not trying to be the next conventional engine. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
I just love that.
Yeah.
Very special.
Well, and with that, we bid you all adieu, and we'll see you here next week or next Friday. Next Friday for the next episode of the Made in Dreams podcast. Everybody say your goodbyes. I'm going to go ahead and raid actually Apes on Fire.
Very good idea.
And yeah, catch you guys later.
It's been
Thank
fun.
you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.